All right, so welcome back. Today, we are going to talk about water quality. So there are two things that can affect water quality. That is water salinity, and then that is water parameters. So there's a bunch of different things that go into that, which I will talk about. But the first thing we're going to talk about is the salinity. So in order to measure salinity, we use something called a refractometer. And today I'm going to show you how to use it. So obviously salinity, how salty is the water? So that's what we're going to be testing. So I'm going to show you the refractometer now. So when you open this little refractometer, there are a bunch of different kinds of refractometer or kinds of water salinity testers you can get. A refractometer is probably the easiest and the most accurate. So you have this little cloth that you're going to use to clean it off. And then here is the actual refractometer. It's like a kaleidoscope, basically. Here's this little flip thing. This is where you put the water. This is what you wipe when you're done. You fold it over with the water on it, and then you look through here. You're probably not going to be able to see anything. You can't. Love that. So you can use this like a kaleidoscope to kind of edit the focus here. And then the only other component that you can adjust is going to be this little knob right here. This has a little rubber thing on it, so you can take it off. Oh my gosh. You're supposed to be able to take it off. Inside is a little flathead screw that you can use to adjust. So the thing about a refractometer that is most important is calibration. So in order to calibrate it, you want to make sure that regular water is 0 salinity. So if you're before you check anything, you want to make sure that it is measuring correctly. You're calibrating it. So in order to calibrate it, all you do in this little box also is a little pipette, and we're gonna grab some regular distilled water and we're gonna put it on, and we're gonna adjust with this little knob if it's wrong down to a 0 so that it is accurately calibrated. So what I'm first gonna do is show you with the distilled water how to use it. So I have a jug of distilled water here. Distilled water. Technically, there is argument about whether that's accurately 0, but for me, it's good enough. So we're gonna grab a little bit of water in this pipette. You're gonna open this little thing up, and you're gonna put about 2 drops on here. I like to do 2 drops. You're gonna put it right on the slide. It's like a chemistry thing. This is when I most feel like a scientist. All right, so it's on there, kind of hard to see. You can kind of see it. And they're gonna slowly put this little slide down. So you can kind of see there's some bubbles. You're really not supposed to have those, but I'm really bad about getting them out, so it's not that big of a deal. That looks good. Love. So now, like a kaleidoscope, you need really light filtering through it to be able to see where it's at. So I'm going to take a look at this and see if I can show you a video of what it looks like on the inside. Okay, it's a little hard to see, because I'm shaking, but it's definitely below that 0. So I guess I should clarify. It's 1.000 ppm and 0% salinity, if that makes sense. That's how you're reading it. So it should be equal to that bottom bar there. So we're gonna have to adjust it. Now, I don't know if my refractometer is faulty, but I check this every single time because I find that pretty much every time it's gonna be wrong. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna keep the water in here because we still wanna be looking at something. And you're gonna grab this little screwdriver that it comes with. So cute. You're gonna take the rubber piece off, and then you're gonna adjust it, which honestly, I'm not even gonna show you because I'll show you how it fits in, but like literally you twist it whichever way. I will report back because I don't know which way is which. So as you can see, relatively, it is on that one line there. And just for the record, counterclockwise is higher and clockwise is lower salinity, just for the record. Because we know that the distilled water has no salt in it, we can adjust it and calibrate it so that it's accurate. So now that we're all calibrated, I'm wiping it off the extra water with this little guy. And we are now going to assess the salinity of our actual tank water. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab the same pipette, and I'm going to grab tank water from the main tank here. I like to kind of push it in and out, pump it a little bit if you will, just to make sure I'm getting out that extra distilled water. So I grab some. It's the same exact procedure. You're gonna put 2 little drops on this guy. 1, 2. I'm just gonna put this to the side in case we need more. And you're gonna slowly lower this down. Then you're gonna look at this through light. One other point, technically the instructions say to wait 30 seconds. I have waited 30 seconds and I have not seen a difference. Don't take that. If you wanna wait 30 seconds, I'm sure it would help. I did not experience that, but I'm sure that's accurate. So I'm gonna take a peek, show you what it looks like, and we'll see where we're at. All right, so as you can see, we're at about 1.02, maybe 3.5. We're very close. I would say 1.023, and that's perfect because for Hawaiian moon jellyfish, which is what Winston is, you're gonna want a salinity of 1.023. So you can see that is right on the money. All right, perfect. So we have now accurately measured the salinity. To be entirely accurate, like I said, you should probably wait 30 seconds just to make sure that this is accurate. I am lazy, so I don't do that all the time. The only other thing that you have to do to get everything set up for next time is wipe off that excess water. Make sure it's all dry, you don't want that salt water there. And then put everything back where it came from. It's lovely like that. I would also run some tap water through this pipette so you don't get salt stuck in the pipette. And then pretty much you're good to go. So the reason we check the salinity is because water can evaporate from this and really raise the salinity, or you could have randomly mixed your water wrong. But since this is the right salinity, I'm going to add some water to get back to that just below the max fill line, and you're all set. Now, the second thing about water quality that we can affect as jellyfish taker-carers is water parameters. So there's a lot of different things. Water has different things going on with it, the biggest being the nitrogen cycle. So basically what happens is your fish, your jellyfish, and the food that you feed them, it creates ammonia, which is very toxic to jellyfish. And so if you didn't have the beneficial bacteria that's in the tank, they would kick the bucket. So basically what happens is it goes from ammonia, and this beneficial bacteria breaks it down to nitrite and then to nitrate. So nitrite is less toxic, I guess, but still bad. And then nitrate is the final stage that the bacteria breaks it down into. And you can have a higher amount of the nitrates, but they still are not ideal. If you have a high nitrate level, that means you're going to be seeing a lot of algae. I'm not going to go into great detail about all the parameters here. I just want you to know that they are a thing. So if you start seeing some common negative side effects like algae, or he's shrinking, or there's different types of things, what we know is that we can test the water parameters to see if something is wrong. So this little booklet comes with the saltwater master test kit. It is this little box with a bunch of solutions and some test vials. The great thing about this is it's an instruction booklet, so it tells you exactly how to do it. On the back are all the scales for where you should want to be based off of this is what the color of the solution will be. And then in the booklet is all the instructions on how to test for each one. So if you're taking care of Winston for me, if you're doing it for your own jellyfish, I may make a different video of how to do each and every test. For the time being, if something goes crazy wrong, refer to this manual. You will need this if you are owning a jellyfish in order to test to make sure the parameters are accurate. Really, for me, once you get your tank cycled, which is, you know, adding in that beneficial bacteria, you don't need to test it that often. Really, it's more of a, hey, something's going wrong in my tank, I need to figure out what's wrong. That's when you're gonna use these to test it. But that is just a general principle. The two things, again, that can affect water quality is the salinity you have your jellyfish at, and the parameters, the other parameters, including ammonia, nitrites and nitrates, as well as pH and the whole 9 yards. But I'm gonna keep it very high level for that. Just know those are a thing, and if something goes wrong, we will test this.